So you're into your gaming in general?
Doing good. Don't it up.
It's the last of our Pwned shows here at Gamescom. Coming up on this show, we've got Army of Two, The Devil's Cartel, FIFA 13 and Battlefield 3 Armored Kill. But first up, I'm joined by Shereif from Visceral Games. We're talking Dead Space 3 weapon customization. Shereif, what's it all about?
Weapon customization was one of the biggest new features that we're having on Dead Space 3. It's something that the team is really excited about because the first time ever, you're actually going to be able to create the combination that people have been dreaming about for years, asking the Dead Space team to make, and we're finally able to do it. So you're going to be able to take your plasma cutter and merge it with a ripper and any other combination that you want, and it's something that is just going to change the way that we're playing Dead Space and taking down the necromorphs. It's really getting into the heart of trying to find resources, scavenge resources in the world, and really plays into the whole theme of Isaac as an engineer, trying to make use of whatever he can find. So you find these pieces of scrap metal, tungsten, pneumatic gel, and then you can really craft and create your own weapon and whatever you like. So we have military tools, we've got plasma cutters, we've got line guns, rippers, flamethrowers, and you can just hodgepodge it all together and create weapons of mass destruction.
Shereif, what's your favorite weapon combination?
Well, there's one, you also have the ability to name it, so I call mine Hot Death. It's a ripper on top and a flamethrower on the bottom, so it spits out these ripper blade that's spinning, and you cut up the necromorphs and they light them on fire at the same time. Hot Death.
A couple of days ago, you announced a competition involving the weapons customization. Can you tell us about that?
Absolutely. So if you log on to deadspace.com right now, you can actually create your own weapon from a series of templates that we have up on the website. And if that selection gets chosen, you'll not only get that weapon in the game, but you'll also get your likeness in the game as well.
That sounds really cool. I might have a go at that. Right, let's now look at some more traditional weaponry with Battlefield 3 Armored Kill. Niklas, Battlefield 3 seems to be the game that keeps on giving. We've had close quarters. Now we're moving the action into a more open arena. Tell us a bit more about Armored Kill.
Yeah, so Armored Kill is our third pack, which focuses on the all-out vehicle warfare. So it's the big maps and lots of new vehicles and lots of epic mayhem.
We've seen Bandar Desert. On the show floor today, you've got tank superiority. Can you go into detail about that?
Yeah, so tank superiority is about kind of capturing the feel of a tank battle. So we pit two tank platoons against each other to try and establish control over a central point on the map. So what you will see is like this big kind of waves of metal moving against each other and having big firefights over long distance.
So what four maps can we play on?
We can play on Alborz Mountains, Bandar Desert, Armored Shield and Death Valley.
And how do those differ to each other?
The thing that they have in common, I should say actually first, is that they are really big. This is the pack that focuses on the big maps. But then of course they have their individual differences, like you have seen, for example, Bandar Desert being this desert environment, and then we have the more snowy environments on the Alborz Mountains. And then what we show today, Death Valley, is more nighttime and in dusk, kind of gloomy.
Now some console gamers are expressing concern that maps such as Bandar Desert might feel a bit empty on the console because you've got 64 players on PC, but only 24 on a console. So how are you addressing the maps feeling a bit empty?
Well, we are always, trying to balance and adapt for the amount of players. So we will address that as we have done with other big maps. It's basically, we try to make sure that those players that are on the map get the best experience they can. So you will not have this empty space where nothing happens. So we're careful about that type of balance.
Niklas, I have faith in you. I guess you guys do a lot of playtesting over at DICE.
Oh yeah, every day.
Just an excuse to play games, right?
Of course, it's a perk of the job.
So where are you taking the series next with Aftermath and Endgame?
We're not, talking about all the details about those packs yet, but Aftermath is about the earthquake. You're going to fight through earthquake-destroyed environments, putting some really nice spin on the battlefield feeling. And in Endgame, we're talking about motorcycles. And one thing that's really cool about these motorcycles is that you can actually be two people on them, so that's pretty cool.
So somebody can ride pillion and then be shooting off the back of the bike while someone else is riding it?
Yes. He's like riding shotgun in a completely new way.
Finally, Niklas, we saw a teaser for Aftermath at the press conference. It was a very small teaser. Can you explain what that was?
Yeah, that was a very small teaser, yeah. It was a little glimpse of what you might expect from the environment in Aftermath. So if you like what you saw, I think you're going to like the pack.
Okay, fantastic. Well, it sounds great. Looking forward to playing Armored Kill and the other DLC that are coming out over the coming months. Thanks a lot, Niklas.
Right. Cool, thank you.
Time to talk Army of Two, The Devil's Cartel now. Before I speak to Julian, the executive producer, have a look for yourself.
A routine mission in Mexico. We should have known better.
Maybe you didn't get the message. This is my Mexico, amigos. Stay away.
tell us what we were seeing.
You were seeing awesome. That's basically what you were seeing. You were seeing what Visceral brings to Army of Two, the Devil's Cartel.
Let's talk about the two characters, Alpha and Bravo. How are they different to the previous characters in Army of Two?
So we keep Salem and Rios in the game. Alpha and Bravo are new characters in that universe, so that you'll get to experience Salem and Rios, but also these new guys, Alpha and Bravo. They're younger. They're getting thrown into a very difficult mission, and they've got to survive.
So they're in Mexico, but it's not all eating tacos and drinking tequila, is it? There's a proper mission going on. What is that mission?
Well, you're thrown right in the heart of basically the Mexican drug wars with the cartels. You're trying to protect someone, and it goes horribly wrong. And so you need to survive in that area. You'll be lucky to get out alive, basically.
So can you just explain some of the mechanics of the two-player co-op?
Sure. In the previous games, the co-op moments were usually fairly obvious. The two players would be right next to each other, and they would do a step jump or get behind a shield together. We want to keep all of those, but we want to have really big pieces. So in the demo that we had for the press conference and the one we have behind closed doors here, there's big moments where one player's got to get in a helicopter to basically blaze a path in front of the other player who's got to take out guys with RPGs, otherwise a helicopter's going to go down. So we're trying to take what was great from the previous games, but we're trying to really push co-op and make co-op essential to the game. You won't be able to finish a mission unless your buddy helps you in that mode. You can't just blaze through on your own and have the other guy just sort of follow along. You're both essential to finishing any mission.
So if you play really well with your buddy, you enter overkill mode. How does that work?
Basically, we want to reward you for all the things that you do in the game that are cooperative, that help out your partner. And so we give you overkill points throughout the game while you're doing that. So that's going to incent players to want to help their buddies out. And why is that? Because when you go into overkill, you're ridiculously powerful. It's for a short period of time, but your weapons are more powerful, you're tougher, the world just comes apart in front of you. So if enemies are hiding behind cover, you're obliterating that cover and there's nowhere for them to hide.
Obviously the game is probably best played in co-op, but if you do play it single player, how do you go about getting the AI that behaves as if it's a human partner?
Well, luckily for the player, that'll be easy, but it's really hard for us back in the dev team. We basically have to make the player AI for your surrogate buddy who didn't want to play that evening on your couch or online. We've got to make that AI as smart as a player in some of those sequences. They have to be able to fly helicopters or do this or do that, and so that's really hard for us so that it can be really awesome and easy for the player when they buy the game.
From one form of shooting to another, by the way, that link was David's idea. I'm joined by the mighty David Rutter, as Andrew Wilson said a couple of days ago. How did you feel being introduced in that way?
I felt very happy.
It was great, I liked it. A good promotion to have. Okay, so a couple of days ago you had a few announcements about FIFA 13. Yep. Tell us what they were.
Oh wow, so the big stuff for the press conference was obviously just a little bit about gameplay. We've spoken about that quite a lot. What we're doing with EA Sports Football Club as well, virtual Bundesliga for our German, Austrian and Swiss friends, and the big one really for everyone is match day. The way it works is if you imagine the attributes and the performance of the players in the real world, we'll be mimicking that into our game at a pretty frequent cadence. The idea here being if someone has a great game of football on the weekend, the following week that will be reflected in the game so that you'll kind of have a sense of how well the players in the real world are doing, well or not. We'll also be showcasing teams' next 4 fixtures, so what they're playing that weekend and then the following couple of weeks, as well as featuring one big match that we think of some significance coming up as well. And then my favourite bit is how it's reflected in commentary. So if you imagine it's the end of the season, it's a crucial tie, we'll talk about that, we'll talk about leading goal scorers, injuries, suspensions, what's going on the pitch that's being reflected from the outside world.
How do you get that data and voiceover into the game?
Sure, so we got a big team of researchers based all around the world that give us all the attributes data for the teams, and they're also going to be reporting on storylines and the significance of the matches. Within the game itself, we can tag them in that database. When the data goes down, it activates them in the game, and we've recorded a ton of commentary already for a number of different storylines, and then we'll be linking them up as they happen.
He's got space, in with a chance, and they have the lead. It's come late in the day, but they have their noses in front.
Now tell us about this 2 versus 2 co-op in there as well.
Yeah, so with the online stuff that we wanted to get to this year, a lot of it's come from fan feedback. So lots of people asking to be able to sit on a couch with a mate and have them join in an online game. So you can now have 2 versus 2 online with you and a friend and another friend and their friend on a different console somewhere else. So something that's quite important. New matchmaking as well, based on the overall ratings of the teams rather than the kind of star rating. There wasn't really enough fidelity in that. We've also introduced seasons into clubs, which was something our fans really wanted. Moved the virtual pros from just on the console, where they could easily be hacked, and put them onto the server as well. So for online play now, you won't hopefully have like 9-foot giants running around with 99 rated everything. You'll actually have that on the server, so it'll be proper. So a kind of local offline virtual pro, so you can still grow them offline, but you'll actually have a proper online pro now.
David, it's almost too much to take in. Do you have a life apart from FIFA 13, or is this solely what you do now?
It's pretty much what I do. Thankfully, when FIFA's come out and the launch has all gone smoothly and we start collecting all the feedback from the fans, start working on any updates that we might want to do based on that, or start work properly on FIFA next. Hopefully I'll get some snowboarding in, but that's a few months away yet.
Yeah, and an entirely different game as well, I guess.
Yes.
David, thanks for your time once again.
No worries, thanks very much for having me. Good to see you, bud.
Awkward handshake. Well, it's almost the end of the show, but now I'm joined by XZIBIT. XZIBIT, how you doing?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
Right.
So what are these headphones on your head?
Well, actually, I'm here at GameCon with Monster. Monster is known for quality material when it comes to the music headphones, so we're stepping into video game accessories. So this is our first endeavor into that world and space, and we're going in with EA Sports and about to drop with Madden and FIFA, and you know, just test the water, see what's there for us.
Nice one. You got a little headset on there as well, so you can speak.
It's our first gaming headphone coming from Monster. The design is impeccable. The drivers in there is great. Usually you have to have these big bulky things in order to get the THX sound that they put into the game. So we're taking our time with it, and I think coming in, we're going to have the top of the line accessories coming in 2012.
You could say they're a pimped up pair of headphones.
Oh God, don't get this interview canceled.
I won't go there. I won't go there.
All right.
So you're into your gaming in general?
Doing good. Don't it up.
We'll have to bleep that. So XZIBIT, what sort of games are you into?
I like first-person shooters. I like Call of Duty titles, Medal of Honor. I think Borderlands is coming out, Borderlands 2.
That's right.
Halo titles. I think Army of Two is over there. I mean, all of the games that I like to play are here, and then some. You know, I've seen some games that I didn't even know existed. I saw a game for just driving a tractor.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, exactly. They said it's one of the biggest games in Germany, and all you do is just drive this tractor. And then if you want to really get crazy, they have one where you can just bust up some concrete.
Man, that sounds really, really exciting, doesn't it? I want myself a tractor simulator, definitely. Cool, well, it's been great talking to you. Enjoy the rest of the show. Are you going to check out Cologne in Germany while you're here as well?
Man, I've been coming here since '96 as a musician, so you know, it's a regular stomping ground for me. I'm glad to be back in Germany.
Excellent. Well, have a great time. We'll be back next month with a Medal of Honor Warfighters special. So we'll see you then.